My name is Nam Callahan. I'm 24. And I thought if I kept my head down long enough, worked hard enough, I'd eventually be left alone. That silence, that small space of freedom, turns out, it was just an illusion they hadn't decided to break yet. It started with a sound that didn't happen. The hum of the garage door. The chirp of my key fob unlocking the doors. The low beep of the motion sensor lights flicking on. None of it. I stepped onto the driveway, grocery bag in one hand, keys in the other. The spot where I'd parked my new car was gone. Just a dark, empty slab of concrete. Damp with the early November drizzle. I dropped the keys. No broken glass. No tire marks. Just absence. Pure and quiet. The front door creaked open under my hand. Mom was in the kitchen, slicing carrots like it was Tuesday. Dad sat motionless at the table, sipping lukewarm coffee, eyes on something that wasn't me. "Where's my car?" My voice cracked at the end. Mom didn't look up. "We sold it." I stared. "What?" Her knife hit the board. Steady. Measured. "Your sister needed the money. The bank was on her. And we figured you'd understand." I couldn't hear. Not really. Just the hiss of the carrots. The buzz of the overhead light. "You sold my car?" "You'll get another," Dad added, without looking. I left the bag on the floor. Upstairs, my room felt too small. The air tasted like dust. I pulled open the drawer, checked the papers, title, insurance, DMV reg, all under my name. Not theirs. The keys were still on my ring. But the car was gone. Check the Ring camera, offline. Wi-Fi had been spotty for days, they'd said. I didn't sleep. I sat in my desk chair, refreshing security emails, bank apps. Sometime around 2 a.m., a transaction popped up, 5 days ago. $14,750. Out. Not to Kyra. Not to any family account. A third-party seller I didn't recognize. No memo. No trace. I knocked on Kyra's door. No answer. Her light was off. Shadows behind her curtains twitched once, like movement, then still. The house felt wrong. "You know what your problem is?" Dad's voice echoed the next morning from the hallway as I passed. "You treat things like they're yours. But you live here." I didn't answer. I walked out the door and rode the bus to work. My coworkers asked where the car was. I smiled. Lied. In the shop. At lunch, I called the seller from the banknote, disconnected. I tried Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Carvana. No posts. No pictures. By 3 p.m., I got a message from Kyra, "Don't make this a thing, Nam. You're being dramatic." Later that night, I checked the garage again. Mom stood there. Alone. Looking at the shelves like something was missing. "You're not safe when you think you are," she said. Not to me. Just out loud. Then walked away. I didn't go to sleep that night. I sat by the window, staring at the spot where the car used to be. It felt like someone was watching. Not metaphorically, literally. Then I noticed the street camera across from our driveway. The red light, blinking. If they stole my car without blinking, what else have they already taken? The next morning, my phone was dead. Not low battery dead. No service. No carrier. The top left corner of the screen just blinked, SOS only. Wi-Fi was gone, too. Router blinking, but locked. I tried the old password. Invalid. The walls of my room felt closer. Tighter. Like the drywall knew something I didn't. I went downstairs. No one spoke. The sound of a spoon tapping ceramic filled the silence. Mom stirred oatmeal like she'd never stabbed me in the back. Dad read the same headline 3 times. Kyra's door stayed closed. I sat down. Why is my number off the plan? No answer. I need my phone. For work. For everything. Mom finally looked up. You don't pay for it. You don't own it. You sold my car. You want to cut my legs off, too? Dad grunted. Don't raise your voice in this house. My fists clenched. Then stop treating me like furniture. Kyra's voice drifted from behind her door. Jesus, Nom. It was just a car. Just a car? My voice cracked open. It was mine. That was all I had. Dad stood. A shift in the room, like static before a lightning strike. I left before I said something worse. Scene cut, bus stop. Rain. My hoodie couldn't keep up. I checked my banking app from a library computer. Second punch of the day. Withdrawals, $14,750. Memo, private sale, auto. Not from me. But under my account. My name. I printed the statement. The librarian raised an eyebrow. I said nothing. People believe in silence more than screaming. Outside, I walked to Lena's auto shop 2 blocks away. She'd seen my car. She'd waxed my car. She might have known something. The bell over her door jingled. She looked up from behind the register, surprised. Nom? I thought you were on a run today. My car's gone. She frowned. Like stolen? Sold. By my family. Without telling me. And I think I'm being set up for something worse. Lena came around the counter, wiping her hands on a rag. Tell me everything. I did. The late night sale. The locked Wi-Fi. The money. The gaslight. She went still. Okay, this is gonna sound weird, she said. But last week, Kyra stopped by. Asked me how hard it'd be to change a VIN plate. That slow blink moment. The kind your brain tries to skip over like a scratched CD. But you can't. What? She said it was a favor. Just theory. I didn't do anything, Nom. I thought she was high or something. I backed up. Her voice sounded far away. You don't change a VIN unless you're hiding something, I muttered. Lena nodded. Or hiding someone. My legs went cold. I asked for her computer. Logged into an old car tracking app I'd forgotten I even installed. The kind used for insurance discounts and teen drivers. One green dot blinked. Address, mile 17, off Route 46. Warehouse Row. No other details. Lena looked over my shoulder. That's an abandoned commercial zone. They gutted that place years ago. Why would my car be there? You want company? She asked, grabbing her keys. No. I need a phone first. She handed me a prepaid burner. Use it once. Then smash it. I looked at her. Sometimes you survive not because you're smarter, just quieter. The sun had dipped. Light bled red across the skyline like a warning flare. I took a bus, then walked. Past warehouses with broken windows and rusted signage. The smell of oil and mold thick in the air. Then I saw it. Faint outline of my car under a tarp. Same dent on the rear bumper. My breath caught. I moved closer. A metallic clink behind me. I spun. Nothing. But someone had been there. Footprints. Fresh. I yanked the tarp off. The plate was missing. Inside, the upholstery had stains. Dark. Patterned. Something slick. I opened the glove box. A torn medical wristband with a child's name. Blood type. Dried blood on the corner. I stumbled back. My phone buzzed once. Text message, you're not supposed to be here. Then, leave now or they'll think you did it. They didn't just steal my car. They framed me. The burner phone was still warm in my hand when I stepped back into the street. Warehouse lights flickered behind me, static buzzing overhead. I didn't run. I didn't breathe. Someone had been watching. I ducked behind a dumpster, hands shaking, eyes scanning every parked car across the lot. One of them had their engine running. No headlights. Just idle growl. I turned off the phone. Battery pulled. SIM card cracked between my fingers. My pulse screamed in my neck. Back at Lena's, I didn't knock. She opened before I reached the door, like she'd been standing there, waiting. "You're white as hell," she said. "They used my car," I said. "They used it to hurt someone. A child." She didn't flinch. Just grabbed her coat. "We need to go now." We drove in silence, windows up, heater on low. Every taillight felt like a warning. I kept glancing at the rearview. "Ever hear that saying?" Lena asked, breaking the quiet. "People don't fall apart. They get stripped down until what's left is the truth." I nodded. "Truth's ugly." She laughed once. "That's the only part that's real." Cut scene, gas station, middle of nowhere. Dim lights. Cheap cameras. Lena topped off the tank. I bought 2 energy drinks and a disposable camera. "Why that?" she asked. "No GPS. No metadata. If something happens, I want proof that doesn't vanish when my phone does." Back in the car, I opened the bag from the glove box again. Same wristband. Same blood. The name was smudged, but not enough. Delaney S. My chest tightened. I typed the name into the library computer. A press release popped up from a local hospital. Child in critical condition after hit-and-run. No suspects named. No plate listed. No photos of the car. But the timestamp matched the date in my transaction history. Lena leaned over. "If that was your car." It was my car. We printed the article. I tucked it in my hoodie. We left. Cut scene, night. We drove to the address of an old friend of my dad's. Guy named Rustin. Used to run towing and impounds before his DUI cost him the lot. He owed my dad favors. I figured he'd spill something. We found him in the back of a bar, nursing a beer and a bad attitude. "Nom," he said, like it hurt. "Didn't think I'd see you again." "You haven't," I said. "I need info." "What kind?" "Did anyone bring a gray sedan to you last week?" "Silver trim. Rear dent, driver's side." He blinked too slowly. Then said nothing. Lena dropped the name. Delaney S. The room shrank. He looked around. Swallowed. "Dexter said you were smart," he muttered. "Didn't say you were suicidal." I stepped forward. So it was him. Rustin exhaled like his lungs gave up. He brought it in, said it was evidence disposal. Paid me to torch the tags, scratch the VIN, bleach the trunk. Said he'd be back to finish the rest. "And the blood?" Rustin stared at me. "You don't wash that off," he said. "You bury it." Cut scene, we leave. Night is thick. Streetlight flickers once, then dies. A black SUV creeps past. Same one from the warehouse. We keep walking. Don't run. Not yet. Back at Lena's, we check her door. Unlocked. We always lock it. The room smells different. Fabric softener and something sharper. Like lemon bleach. I drew the curtain. Nothing. Then Lena whispered, "My laptop's gone." I opened my bag. The article was gone. Wristband was gone. Someone was here. No. Someone never left. She pointed. Back window, half cracked open. Handprint on the glass. Child-sized. Smudged. Breath caught. Who the hell is helping them? I grabbed Lena's burner phone. Dialed a number I hadn't touched in years. It rang 3 times. Then a low voice answered. You don't get to call me anymore, said Uncle Javi. They're framing me, I said. Silence. They used my car. They cleaned it. They're erasing everything. I need a lawyer. I need a witness. A pause. Then, meet me tomorrow. Don't bring anyone. And Nam? Yeah? They're not cleaning up. They're preparing to disappear you. Run, Nam. They're not here for the car, they're here for her. I met Javi in an empty church parking lot just after sunrise. Fog skimmed the pavement like smoke, bleeding into the cracked white lines under our feet. The kind of setting where you learn fast, truth doesn't come clean. He leaned against his dark green Jeep, arms crossed, not smiling. You look like hell. I lit a cigarette I didn't want. Feels worse. You said they framed you. I handed him the envelope, wristband photo, bloodied upholstery, the medical printout with Delaney SS name. He flipped through in silence. Slow. Cold. I need to know how deep this goes, I said. Deep enough you're standing in it. He looked up. You ever notice how people only call me when they're drowning? Because you used to pull people out. He gave the cigarette a look of disgust. No one pulls anyone out. They just float longer. Cut scene, inside the Jeep. The hum of tires on concrete. Javi drove. I stared out at nothing. Delaney S. is the granddaughter of State Senator Howell. That means this hit and run wasn't just a tragedy, it's a time bomb. I looked over. How do you know that? I still know people. And I've seen this trick before, good kid, clean record, asset in his name gets repurposed. Repurposed? Like a knife with a new handle. Still kills the same. Cut, Lena's voice on speakerphone. Nam, you need to see this. Kyra just posted a picture online, her holding your title doc. What? She tagged it family first. Static. I gritted my teeth. She's taunting me. No. She's sending a message to someone else. Javi turned the wheel hard. Where would she go if she wanted to feel untouchable? Dad's place. The back property. The farmhouse was still there. Boarded windows. Weeds waist high. A garage that never got permits. A place Mom never mentioned and Dad kept for storage. We parked 2 streets over and hiked the rest. Every step felt like something watched from under the trees. Closer. The garage door was ajar. We crept in. Darkness. Sharp scent of gasoline and bleach. My lungs tightened. Light flicked. Javi raised a flashlight. Center of the room, my car. Stripped. Repainted. New plates. But the dent by the left taillight was still there. You can change the skin, Javi muttered. But scars remember. We approached slowly. Javi checked the front seat. I went for the trunk. It stuck at first. Then popped. Blood. Stained into the lining like a screen that dried. And something else, beneath the mat. A silver bracelet. Tiny. Engraved, Delaney S. My stomach dropped. That's what the title post was covering, I whispered. A misdirection. Distraction, Javi said. Classic. Then. Footsteps. We froze. Another sound, the door creak. Then the voice. I thought you'd be smarter than this, Nam. Kyra. Hair up. Hood on. Holding something behind her leg. You shouldn't be here, she said. Javi stepped forward. You're not calling the shots anymore. You think this is about a kid? Kyra hissed. This is about leverage. Dad didn't kill her. He just made sure the right people didn't get blamed. You used my car, I said. You used me. She smirked. You were never good at paying attention. I stepped closer. So who are we protecting, huh? Who really hit that girl? Kyra's smile faltered. Then she bolted. Javi shouted, chased. I ran after them through the side exit. Gravel kicked up. Tires screeched. An SUV peeled off, not ours. Who the hell was that? I yelled. Javi looked at me. Breathless. Not Kyra's driver. Then realization hit. They're cleaning up, he said. No, I turned back to the garage, to the open trunk, the bracelet now missing. They're not cleaning up. They're preparing to disappear me. We didn't go back to Lena's. We knew better now. There were eyes everywhere, unblinking, patient, waiting for the moment we stopped looking over our shoulders. And I wasn't about to give them that. We crashed at an old friend of Javi's, a bartender who owed him 3 favors and had a basement apartment with no windows and thicker locks than most panic rooms. We stayed quiet for 10 minutes. Then I tore the room apart. I know she left something, I said, dumping my backpack, yanking out torn receipts, flash drives, a burner phone, 3 folded pages from Delaney's press release. Javi watched, arms folded. You're chasing a phantom. No, I said, pulling up Lena's last shared folder on the old burner laptop. I'm chasing the only piece of truth left. Click. A single encrypted file sat blinking in the corner. Date stamped 2 hours before the garage. Untitled. Do you think? I stopped. Javi moved beside me. Open it. I entered the password Lena once mumbled half asleep during a migraine, Lilac Blood 12. It worked. A spreadsheet opened. Not just license plates. Names. Dates. Wire transfers. Every one of them linked to the senator. To Howell. And worse, Dad's name was on line 6. Next to it, vehicle repurposed. Witness neutralized. Family cooperation confirmed. Javi muttered something under his breath. They weren't just hiding a hit-and-run, I whispered. This was a pipeline. Blackmail, asset theft, vehicle laundering. And Dad helped. Cut scene, knock at the upstairs door. 3 knocks. Sharp. 2 even. I killed the lights. The bartender's voice drifted down, you expecting someone? No, Javi said, already pulling his gun. We stayed frozen. Another knock. Then silence. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. 1-word message, run. No one had that number. No one except. The room exploded. Shattered glass. A crash upstairs. Gunfire. We bolted. Back door. Alleyway. Darkness split by red light. Sirens? No. Too quiet. Javi yanked me into a trash-lined gap between buildings. We crouched. Listened. 2 pairs of boots. Someone muttering. Metal clinking. Then, he's not here. Check the drop point. They're moving fast, I said. They know we have the file. We ran. Cut scene, metro station. Javi bought a burner ticket with cash. No cameras. I sat stiff in the seat, feeling the file in my pocket like it burned. You ever feel like your life was someone else's idea? I asked. Javi didn't look at me. Theirs. Downtown. We stopped at an old storage building registered under my grandfather's name. A place nobody remembered. We needed a secure drop. Inside, dust, silence, and something else. A second file. Printed. Waiting in the middle of the floor. No envelope. Just a binder clipped tight. I opened it. Photos. Surveillance stills. Me at Lena's. Me near the hospital. Me outside the garage. Timestamped. Marked. A red circle around my head. Then the last page. Confidential, pattern match ID, subject, Nam Callahan. Status, Patsy. They wrote the script before you lived it, Javi said, voice low. They didn't just set me up, I whispered. They rehearsed it. He pointed to the corner. Small red dot. Camera. Live. Smile, he said. You're already in the finale. But I didn't smile. Because right then, my phone buzzed again. One word. One sender. Kyra. Message, I told you. You should have played dead. We stayed inside that storage unit long enough for panic to feel like a normal temperature. My pulse became its own metronome. Javi paced. The file on my lap felt heavier than a weapon. I can't outrun this, I said. No one outruns a machine, Javi answered. You jam it. How? He flicked the binder. Information is gasoline. You don't hide it. You ignite it. A silence cracked open between us. You're telling me to leak it. You want justice? Or peace, he asked. They are not twins. Outside, the metal siding rattled like someone dragged a branch across it. Except there were no trees. No wind. I pressed my ear to the wall. Footsteps. Slow. Confident. Searching. They found us, I whispered. No, Javi said, drawing a breath steady enough to scare me. They're forcing a choice. We slipped out through the back maintenance tunnel, something that probably wasn't up to code but blessedly invisible. Darkness thickened behind us, the smell of dust, rust, and stale water filling every lungful. Cut scene, the abandoned garage again. Night. Cold. The same industrial lamp above the bay door flickering like a bad fluorescent memory. Inside, my car sat like a corpse that still remembered being alive. The stripped paint gleamed under the artificial light, metallic and wrong. Javi and I circled the trunk one last time. We document everything, he said. We took photos on the disposable camera, then on a prepaid tablet we bought with cash from a thrift store 2 towns over. Evidence split, stored, copied, hidden. Then came headlights. One car. Then a second. And then the third. SUVs. Tinted windows. Engines humming low. The first door opened. Dexter stepped out. My father. Cool, deliberate. Like a man getting the mail. Son, he said. I stayed behind the frame of the trunk. You called me son when it was convenient. I tried to protect you. By stealing my car? That car was the cleanest asset in the house. I laughed once. Bitter. You stole my autonomy and called it strategy. Dexter took one step closer. There are people involved you do not understand. You think this is about a hit and run? You are a link in a process designed to keep the powerful from bleeding in the public square. And what about Delaney? His jaw tensed. She's alive. In recovery. She remembers nothing. Javi cut in. You sure about that? Dexter didn't blink. Memory is selective when people with influence make it selective. Then, another engine. Not SUV. Ambulance. No lights. No siren. Rear doors opened. 2 paramedics stepped out, eyes sharp, no medical bags in sight. What's this? I whispered. Dexter kept his voice low. Containment. You leak, you disappear. You disappear, the file becomes doubt instead of proof. Javi touched my arm. Time to jam the machine. I lifted the prepaid tablet. Pressed one button. Upload. Not to the police. Not to press. But to automatic leak servers, offshore, mirrored, impossible to erase. Newspapers, watchdogs, public record drops. All at once. My father realized a half-second too late. You idiot. Javi flicked a lighter. He rolled it across the oil-stained floor. Flame. Fast. Hungry. The trunk ignited first, then the rear seats, then the wall behind the tire racks. Smoke coiled upward like black silk. Dexter shouted, motioning everyone back. Javi shoved me toward the exit. We don't have minutes. We have seconds. Glass cracked behind us. Heat sucked oxygen out of the room in one enormous breath. We slid outside as the garage went from orange to roaring white. And then... sirens. Real ones. Lots of them. Police cruisers. Fire trucks. Local news vans already rolling in. How? Because the leak triggered mandatory reporting, state accountability alerts, public record pings, attorney notifications. The system woke up faster than we could run. That was the point. We watched from behind the dumpsters of the hardware store across the street. Heat shimmered like a spirit over the burning building. Dexter didn't flee. He just stood there, face lit by the fire, hands at his sides like a man watching everything he'd built finally tell the truth. Kyra arrived next, stepping out of the last SUV. She stared at the blaze. Stared at me in the shadows without seeing me. For the first time in years, fear cracked through her mascara. We can't bury fire, Javi murmured. Truth doesn't burn evenly, I said. It smolders until someone breathes near it. Hours later, fire crews dragged steel hoses through the ruin. Reporters swarmed. Cameras streamed live. A state prosecutor arrived before midnight. The file had detonated. The machine was jammed. Cut scene, 1 week later. My own apartment. Small. Quiet. First morning sunlight through a new window, landing on a mug with no history attached to it. No one tracking my phone, no one watching me sleep, no garage, no laundering, no SUV shadows. Just quiet. Real quiet. The kind that feels like a room finally exhaled. I turned on the news. A girl, Delaney, smiling weakly from a hospital bed. Bandages on her arm. Safe. Her father speaking softly to a reporter, she remembers enough. Everything in me unclenched. Lena texted from a private number she promised to destroy after this. We made the right noise. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at the window. Families define you until you decide they don't. I used to think loyalty meant staying no matter how badly you were treated. But loyalty without dignity is slavery. And family without conscience is a cage. Sometimes walking away isn't betrayal. It's survival. Javi always said something that finally made sense now. You think justice is a courtroom. It isn't. Justice is the moment you stop pretending you deserve to be sacrificed. I breathed in. Slow. Full. Nobody was watching. Nobody was taking anything from me anymore. For the first time in my life, I had a future that wasn't borrowed, controlled, or collateral. They tried to erase everything. But they forgot one thing. Truth burns slower than gasoline.